everything because I cut it off early, and you're supposed to let it fall off, which I knew that, but I want her to suffer. So once again, I had did something to her, Cora Miracle. There's so many things I did to her, and since this is my final video, I'm gonna try to get it out there. There was a lot of things I did to her. I used to pinch her skin. If she woke me up at 3 a.m., I would literally throw her to the I would literally throw her to the floor, or I would pinch her skin really hard, and she would cry. I used to choke her, slap her, punch her, all type of things when she was a few days old. And I did a lot of things to her. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get it all out there. I did a lot of stuff to Cora Miracle. I used to pinch her skin. I remember one time she woke me up at 3 a.m. and I was really pissed off, so I grabbed her by her arm and I jerked her out of her little crib. I grabbed her arm, I jerked that hoe out her crib, and damn near broke her arm off. And I pinched her skin so hard. I said, bitch, you don't wake me up at no fucking 3 a.m. My family was there, unfortunately, and she screamed so fucking loud. And they ran into my room and they said, what happened to her? And I was like, you know she wakes up every day at 3 a.m. She always wakes up at 3 a.m. like 24/7. Every day she wakes up at 3 a.m. So I was like, she just wakes up at 3 a.m. She always cries at 3 a.m. They was like, well, this is a different cry. She normally not crying that loud. And I'm like, oh, she must be hungry. Anything for them not to investigate, because I don't want them to see the pinches on her skin. So basically I told them I'm going to feed her. I'm going to go warm a bottle and feed her. You guys can go back to sleep, because she was crying really, really loud. And normally they'll take her and bring her into their room and let her sleep in there when she gets fussy at 3 a.m. But I did not want them to see the bruises or the pinches on her skin. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take her, yada, yada, yada. And they looked at me weird because that was unusual for me, because I always try to avoid being with her at all costs. But anyways, I took her to warm her bottle, yada, yada, yada. That's what happened that specific night. One time I was with Cora, and I just wanted to do anything to hurt her, and I had pulled her whole entire fingernail off. And it was kind of hard to explain what happened. You know how a lot of times, like, babies' fingernails grow and they say you're supposed to bite the fingernails off? Well, I had to come up with something. I was trying to trim her fingernails, and I made a mistake and took her whole nail off. So it was kind of hard to get out of that one because of all the times that I did stuff to her and I had to explain what happened. But yeah, that's why I told him what happened. I told him it was a mistake. There was no proof that it wasn't, so everything was fine. When Cora was, I believe she was half of a month old, I did get in trouble because I wanted to go out to this party with some friends. A lot of y'all already know the story, but like I said, since this is part 3, the ending, I am going to get into that. Since even though y'all already know what happened, you can skip 3 minutes ahead. I mean, well, it's like a long story. Y'all, you could skip 1 minute ahead if you don't want to hear this. But like I said, I had got in trouble because I left her at home by herself. And she was on the swinging. And I left her home by herself, and the swing was on the floor, and she was halfway out the swing, and one of the neighbors saw her because I left the door open. So one of the neighbors was passing by with their nosy ass, because a lot of people don't know how to mind their own business. Mind your own fucking business. Stuff that have nothing to do with you, you don't have to worry about it. Mind your own fucking business. But it was somebody who have no motherfucking life, and since they have no life, they called the police because they saw her on the floor and the door was wide open. So I came back home and there was authorities there. But it took me a little while to get out of that mess. I had to talk about things and stuff like that, but I did get out of it. And since she basically got me in trouble, because I could have got arrested. So since she got me in trouble, that's when I really started to despise her. When she was like a month and a half old, she was constantly flirting with my boyfriend, and she did it for literally months. Like, he would change her diaper, she would be flirting with him, and literally just like looking at him, basically trying to get him to touch on her. So she was flirting with him for a really long time. When she was 4 months old, that's when they finally had sex. She lost her virginity, and after that she basically had sex with my boyfriend, and that's when it all went downhill. That's when I was like, you know what, this bitch already got me in trouble with the law. She's sleeping with my boyfriend. So when she was 4 months, that's when they finally had sex. And that's when I was like, all right, you want to be a little slut, then we gon' We gonna benefit. Mama gonna benefit off of you being a slut. So I started making some money off this little hoe, so she wanna be a little dirty ass little hoe. So I started pimping her out. I started making money off of it. I want to make sure I don't miss nothing in this story because I don't want to talk about this no more after this. So I started pimping her out. I started making that change. I started making that little money off that little hoe. So I was getting paid big bucks. Men were paying like $300 a piece. Some of these men were paying $300 a piece, close to $500 a piece, just to get some pussy from that hoe. Cora was a really pretty young lady. I'll give her that. She was a really pretty young lady. She was thick. She had hips. She had a big booty. So all the men was loving her. She was bringing in some cash at one point. That hoe was paying the rent. So I was like, well, I do have a cause for her now. Now she can make me some money or whatever. So I started making money off that bitch. And I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I get emotional talking about my daughter because I do miss her. Rest in peace. I do miss her. But I started making money off of her or whatever. I did get sick of Cora eventually. She was always around. She was irritating me. My family started watching her less because they had stuff to do. They had to go to work. They wanted to go out. They're getting older. They want to go out. So I did start to get sick of her. And I decided that I wanted to get rid of her for good. But what I meant by that is that I wanted to sell her into sex trafficking to get her out of my hair. I started meeting up with pimps. I had people that would buy her for a certain amount of time, and I was working with other pimps, and I was trying to sell her into sex trafficking completely. But we was trying to get to a certain price and making sure that I get paid off because that's my fucking property. So I wanted to make sure that I got paid off at least enough money for you to keep her for good. But we were still talking about pricing or whatever, and Cora passed away not long before her birthday. So she was going to be sold, like probably on her birthday she was going to be sold, but unfortunately she didn't make it that far. And let me tell y'all what happened, and this is where I'm getting through. So I was going to sell her into sex trafficking. I was making a good amount of money off of her. I had people that was working with me that was helping me find clients because he didn't want the police to get onto what we was doing. And you know, you can easily meet somebody that's pretending to be a client, and then there's people out there who don't know how to mind their own business, so they're gonna try and call the police or whatever. So that's why I was working with actual pimps who actually already had regular clients that they knew wasn't going to snitch. So I actually did need a business partner, and I had one. But I feel like Cora, she probably could have been worth a lot. I could have actually had so much if it wasn't for what happened. But she just had to catch the attitude. She had to get smart with her mouth. I did used to beat Cora a lot. I used to punch her, kick her, all type of shit, put her on the floor, step on her legs on purpose when nobody else was home. And eventually my punishments did start to get a lot harsher. I'll admit that. My punishments got a lot harsher than they used to be. So I used to run really hot bath water, which I actually posted a video of some of these actions. Some people haven't. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It was in the past. I did post a video of me slapping her once. I deleted it. A few people got it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's over with. I also posted a video of her in the bathtub. I used to run really, really hot bath water, and I would let her sit there for a little while. I used to pour bleach on her, but not that much because, like I said, you ain't trying to get arrested. You know, you ain't trying to have all these marks on your child's body. But I was at one point, I was going to kill her intentionally, because I didn't kill her intentionally, but I was going to kill her intentionally, but I didn't know that I could make a lot of money off of her. So eventually, since I wasn't going to kill her, my punishments got a little rough. I would put her in hot scalding water, throw Clorox on her. I'll pinch her really hard, harder than I used to, because I used to just pinch like, this even hurts me, so I can only imagine. But my punishments got pretty bad to the point where I was putting her in hot scalding water and basically